Fine. So to work with Excel files, we need to take care of few things. That Excel files have extension either .xls or XLSX as well as CSV also. Fine. So all these files can be imported. If you want to work these files in R, so you have to make your environment ready to get these files. So for this, first thing that you have to perform is you have to run this command on your systems, and that file is for importing the packages, that is installing the packages. So that command is install dot packages read Excel. You need to install this install dot packages read Excel. I will not run this command because I already have installed these packages inside my RStudio. These packages are already installed in the previous sessions. So, but from your side, when you will start working on this, you have to install this package that will read the Excel files. This file may be XLSX or XLS. So that's why we are using that install the package read Excel. Fine. Once you are done with this command, you have to, next thing that you need to do is you have to load the package. Load the package, or you can say load the library. For that, the command that you will run will be library read Excel. So before starting the work, you have to perform these two queries, that is install packages, install.packages read Excel, then library read Excel. Be careful about these questions also because they are available in your pre-quiz and post-quiz also. Fine. So these are the packages and libraries that you are supposed to install for working with Excel files. Fine. Once this is done, next thing is you have to work with the Excel files. We need 2 Excel files. So let us create 2 Excel files. In the first Excel file, let me use few data fields like suppose I am using one ID field and another name field, another field let me take department, and suppose let's say I'm taking salary. Likewise, let me take only these 4 columns. So let me take ID 1, 2. Let me consider them in easy reference. So name, suppose I am taking Sohan, Sumit. Let me take for easy reference ABCD only. And the department, suppose I'm taking IT multiple times. Let me copy IT values randomly. Next, suppose let me take HR department. So let me use this. Fine salary. Let's take some random values. Fine. So let's save this file first. Now I will save this file in my desktop. On my desktop in R folder, because I have set this as my current working directory. So I will save this file in over here only. So firstly, I will consider one of the file as sample1. I will take this sample1 XLSX. Fine. So I have saved one file. Now let me create one new file. Suppose this file consists of again ID, name, contact number, and suppose gender. Let me take the gender values randomly, male, female, male, male, female, male. I will take only this much values. I will not take too many values. 6. Name again. I'm taking A, B. Contact number. Let us take random values for these also. Let's save the file in the same location, that is on the desktop, in our folder as sample2.xlsx. Fine. So we have created 2 Excel files and we have saved them in the working directory. Before working, let us check which one is our working directory. So for that, we will use the command get wd. So we can see a working directory is okay. We have saved the files in these working directories only. So we have confirmed about our working directory. Now next thing is we want to read the Excel file. We want to read Excel file. So when we want to read the Excel file, working with the Excel files, and we have already installed the packages read Excel and library for that. Now again I'm using some temporary variables. For sample 1 I'm taking the name sample data 1 for the vector in which I am reading the file. So I will use the function read underscore Excel. So in this case the function is read underscore Excel and I will specify file name that was sample1.xlsx. So I will need to specify dot. Just a minute. Have we read this library read Excel? Just a minute. Okay, done. Now for after this I have read this file. I will read the second file into my second vector that will be named as sample data 2, and in this I will read Excel for sample2 dot xlsx. Let us run the second one also. Sorry, sample 2. Okay, we have missed this hyphen. So done. We have read this file. Once we have read this file, we can print the data. So for printing the Excel file, what we can do, we can use the head also. So here you can say head function returns the first or last parts of a vector, matrix, table, data frame or function. You can do this thing also. You can do print sample data 1. Can print this also. So it will print all the files that we have imported from the Excel file. Now suppose you want to print the data with the head. So let's see what is happening with the head function, because and at the same time add into your dictionary the new word, new function, that is head. Use it on sample data 1. Let's run it. So here you can see it has read the values from this. So what is the difference between these two? Can anyone tell me? When we run this print sample data 1 return 10 rows with these values, and when we have read this value, that is head sample data 1, it is returning 5 rows. What is the difference between these two? Yes, Pacha, can anyone tell me what is the difference? So by default, it is taking a few values. First few values it is returning. Let's try this with head sample data 2 also. Head sample data 2. Now let's see what happens in this. So basically, it returns 6 first rows. Fine. So let me write the head function over here again and see what is it doing. It says return the first or last part, means it will take the vector size by default. It will either return the first half or it will return the second part from the vector. If the vector is small, it will return a few values. So we can say this is head and tail. Now let's try the tail function with this. So we do tail sample data 1. So here you can say bottom 6 rows are printed. So these are not to work with Excel only. You can use this head and tail function with any of the data frame. You may have created a simple data frame from CSV. You may have created by passing the values. You may created by from Excel values. Head and tail function can work with any of the file. Fine, clear till this point? Now next is let's modify the Excel file. Modify the files means updating the values inside the file. So here is the data that is available with us. Looking at this, let's try to change a few values. We will write this thing we have already done when we were doing data frame. Fine, in that we change the values. So we can do sample data 1. Let's change the column named as suppose I want to change the name column. So I will give the name over here, and let's say I want to replace all the values with A. I want all the names to be A, so I will specify like this. Fine, now I will print it. Print sample data 1. So here you can see all the values of this particular column has been replaced. So these things are not to work with Excel only. These are the operations for changing the values that are being operated on data frames, because we have imported the Excel files as a data frame inside the R. So whatever function that we did in the previous labs for the functions for data frames, all those functions will work with the Excel files also, with this data frame also. So the only thing there that is different in this case is, firstly, for working with Excel files, you have to install the packages, like you need read Excel package. After that, you have to load the library for reading for the read function, and that library is read library read Excel. Fine. After that, you can perform this function, that is read Excel. Read Excel will import all the Excel file inside the data frame that you have taken as name, and then after that you can work with that Excel file just like you work with any of the file that means any of the data frame. So let's try deleting a few values. Delete function, however, it works on data frame. So here what we can do, let me create a one vector as result 1, and here for this I want to refer to my file, any of the file. We can change the file by changing it. We can do sample data 1. Let me specify, if I specify over here -2, let's see what happens. Now let's print this as 1. So here you can see in this res1, these fields are coming. How many columns were there earlier? Earlier there were total 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4 columns were there. But in the res1, what has happened? We have deleted the column with index value 2nd. That's why we need not to use the delete operation for deleting from a vector. What we can do is we can simply write -2. If we are specifying -2, it will delete the particular column which is indexed over here. So if you will index over here -3, then what will happen in that case? this department column will be removed. Let's try with -3. Let's run this. Now let's print res 1. So here you can see second column is available. In this we have removed the third column. So this is how you can perform the deletion of a column from a vector. So in this case we can say the minus sign is used to delete the column or attribute from a data set. If we specify -2 in text, then column 2 will be deleted, and if we specify column 3, then -3, column 3 will be deleted. Once this is done, but next operation is merging of the files. That is merging, or you can say embedding two files. So merging file is again very simple. Let us merge these files into data frame 3, and for that use the operation merge, and inside the merge operation you can specify sample data 1. Let's try what happens with this sample data 2 over here. Let's print data 3 now. Print data 3. So here you can see only one value is being merged, in which certain additions are being done and certain columns are being added, but this is performing merging of this. Now suppose you want to perform merging of all. Let's try for that. Data 3, write merge sample data 1, comma sample data 2, comma, let's specify all keyword. Then you can see over here hint is coming all equal to all dot x equal to all dot y. So what does it mean? It means it is giving certain logical if true, then extra rows will be added to the output for each row in x that has no matching row. What was happening with the very first command that we run over here? In this case only the value that was matching was false. But if we use this function and we are using all dot, then you can see if you are using all dot x, then what will happen? It will merge row wise, and it says if there is no matching row, still the merging will be done for that case. If you use all dot y, then what will happen? The column wise merging will be done. So let's try all dot x equal to true. Fine. And we want to do the merging y by also. So we will specify all dot y is also equal. Let us set it to be true also. So let's run it. And now let's print data 3 now. Print that let me turn my caps lock off. Print data 3. Let's do it. So here you can see merging has been done. So can you please relate this with SQL query? We are having same type of query in SQL also. What was that query? Yes. Then we use joins. Actually, when we are trying to merge this thing, we are trying to use certain joins on these two different data frames. So data frames are table. So we are using joins on these two tables, but in the form of writing the merge operation. So what is this merge operation doing? This merge operation is performing a join operation on two different tables, and there are different type of join. So suppose I am using this thing or using this thing. So these are equal to left outer join or right outer join in SQL. So when we are performing left outer join, we take the values from the left table, all the matching values, and all the values from the rightmost table. And if we are performing right outer join, it will take all the values of the right table and only the matching values from the left table. And if there is no matching value found, it will use not applicable for that. So same thing is happened over here. It has worked just like your left outer join and right outer join, but it has worked on X, where X is treated as rows and Y is being treated as column wise merging. So you can say if there is exact match found, then in that case for that exact match, it has worked with these not applicable values. Fine. It has embedded these not applicable values, and in the total 15 rows are returned from the two data frames, that are sample data 1 and sample data 2. So this is how you can work for merging of the data frames. So in this case, you may have imported the data from a CSV file, you may have imported the data from Excel file, you may have worked directly on the data frame. This type of merge operation can work in these conditions. So I hope this is clear. This is not that difficult to understand. So similarly, you can create new columns and new rows, just we have done in any of the other files. Now let's try the reverse of this. We have created a data frame of by this merging. Now let's try to import this data frame as an Excel file. Just like we have performed, we imported data from CSV file and then we wrote some data to back to the CSV file. And now what we want to do, now we have imported the data, two different Excel files from any of the Excel source, and we have on those imported files we have performed certain operations. After that we have merged the two data frames. Now what I want to do is I want to export this data frame, that is my data 3, as an Excel file, and I want to store it as an Excel file. So for that, firstly you need to import the library, and that library function in this case will be write Excel. So I have to import this write Excel. Just a minute. Sorry, firstly we will install the package for write Excel. So the command for that is install dot packages dot write Excel. Let's run this and let it completely installed. Now it is installed. Now let's import the library. So my library in this case is library write Excel. Let's run this also. Now this library has been working. Now let's try to write. Now my write function should work. So I will write underscore. It is XLSX, write XLSX. Now I want to write this file for which data frame? I want to write it for data 3. So I will do pass the parameter of data 3, and I want the next file to be my new Excel file. I want to name it like this, and the extension is XLSX in this case. So let's run this. So this has been done. Now how can we verify? For the verification of the results, let's go back to the desktop and open the R folder and have a look. There is the file is available over here. That is new Excel file, and you can see over here right now it is 2:16, and the creation time for this is also 2:16. That is, you can see over here at 2:16 this Excel file has been created. Let's open this Excel file so you can see from here. This Excel file consists of the records and with certain values that were not applicable values. The columns for that are blank in this case. So this is how you can perform writing an Excel file from the data frame using R. So that was about the files of Excel files, working with Excel files. So anybody having any doubt in Excel files, let me take your doubts first. For the Excel files, let me take your doubts for 1 or 2 minutes. After that, we will start with the next session, next thing, that is based on working with working with your XML files.